Welcome back to Is
Babe, you gotta handle yourself.
Oh,
Just welcome back to
Love. Is it enough? Today's topic is from fairy tales to reality. I am so excited about today's topic. You know, we have this friend that we're leaving no name. He has fiance that he really loves, and she loves him. And he was thinking about hanging out with the boys because he hasn't been out with them in a long time. So he picks up the phone, and calls her, and you know the rest.
Yeah, he picks up the phone and calls her and asks her, did she have any plans? And she said no.
And so when she says no, I think doesn't she call her sister or girlfriends after they hang up?
Yeah, after she hung up with him, she called her sister. You know how we women like to talk. She was like, "Girl, it's Friday and I'm so excited. I'm going out with my fiance on tonight." And what else happened?
Well, then after that, Tim.
I thought you said wasn't called.
I know. Tim calls her up on the phone and says, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna drop you off some dinner because I'm gonna hang out with the boys tonight." You smell that? You smell it?
Smell what?
You don't smell it?
Yes.
I smell it.
Yes.
Y'all smell it? Y'all smell it? Communication trouble. Yes. But before we go into our topic, let's hear a little bit about our sponsor.
WYTV7.org is a non-profit television station that sponsors shows just like ours. They help educate, empower, and encourage our community. Please consider by going to WYTV7.org and click the red button and donate now.
Please push that red button and donate now. Now let's get back to our topic for the next few weeks or shows, next 3 shows. We will be talking about the 5 levels of building authentic relationships with communication. These are all types of relationships, from brothers and sisters, sister and sister, friends, romantic, how you build a relationship if you're thinking about falling in love with somebody, or even if you're already dating or married, all engaged, all types of relationships, building authentic relationships, even working relationships, building authentic relationships. This is true that everybody needs somebody. I know a lot of us like to say, because we don't have relationships, I don't need anybody. But the truth is, God made us where we are dependent upon relationships. And everything in our world is built on communication.
Yes, it is. And communication is key. A lot of people don't like to communicate or have trouble communication, but by communicating, you work things out better. You got a different perspective of how to handle situations and things like that.
Right. So we're going to get back to our scenario and try to tie into these first 2 steps of communication and see maybe where one or maybe both of them went wrong.
Yes. Okay. Level 1 is general communication. Level 1 is a low level of communication that normally happens between 2 people who meet by chance. There are no feelings, no opinions, personal values. There's no vulnerability involved. There's no risk.
There's no vulnerability. So level 1 is when you first meet somebody. There's no risk involved.
No.
There's no vulnerability.
No.
There's no revealing of who you are. There's no revealing of your opinions and your deep feelings. There's no revealing of what makes you you in level 1. Here's what people go wrong at. They meet somebody at once and they tell them their entire deep self, and they expect the person to reciprocate. And what happens when the person doesn't reciprocate is you end up hurt. Building relationship is building communication and building trust in communication.
Yes. When you meet somebody and you go out the first time, don't tell everything about yourself. This is just a meeting. You're just getting together just to try to know something about them. And then on this level, there's no judgment. So don't pull out all of yourself on the first date?
First date, first meeting,
no, you don't
first
do
encounter.
No.
You don't do that. Come on. We've all had people that we've met, right? You're like, they're a nice person, and then all of a sudden they start telling you every single thing about the children, the marriage, the husband, the job, the dog, the cat, the goldfish, what the mama did, what the daddy did. I ain't saying nothing for that. I'm just trying to eat some lunch.
And so when they talk about all of that and you meet again, what are you talking about?
You don't want to talk to them. You avoid them. And so I know people are going, well, what does that have to do with it? So in building authentic communication, level one is where you explore. You put a little feelers out there. And so perhaps in our scenario, they skip steps. Because if you look at the scenario, both of them had their own expectation, but there was no communication given of anybody's expectation. And in level one, there is no expectations, right? Even if the person says, well, here's my number, give me a call. There's no expectations. If the person calls, fine. If the person doesn't call, fine, because there's no expectations. So perhaps they missed some steps. Perhaps they went too far, too quickly, which is often the case, and we end up in communication troubles. Communication builds relationships.
Yeah, and I also think, remember he asked her, if she got any plans. So why she didn't say, well, yeah, I got a plan. You think she figured that he already knew?
Because maybe one of them was still on level one communication and the other one was not. And because one person had an expectation thinking that you knew, that the other person knew what I was thinking or what I wanted, and they didn't, this is how it clashed. Because level one, there is no expectation. There is no forethought. There is no listening to what the other person is saying when they're not saying it.
Wow. So that proves communication is key.
We have to remember.
You can't get over that.
You can't get over. You have to remember that our whole society is built on communication.
Yes.
We communicate our laws. We communicate our expectations. When you go on a job, what you are going to do and what you are responsible for is communicated to you. Yes. You get an evaluation. It is a communication, right? You give feedback. That is communication. But when it comes to relationships, we think it's this fairy tale thing that, oh, my friend, she should have known what I wanted. Or, oh, my friend, he should have. He don't know. She don't know. Especially if you have not built authentic, true trust through communication. Well, listen, man, our time is almost up. It's time for us to go to a commercial break, but we'll be right back after this.
If you have more ideas than actions, if you have more promises than change, if you're ready for the life you are meant to live, then TI2A is the book for you.
Welcome back to Love. Is it enough? We were talking about relationships, fairy tale to reality. The steps of communication to building authentic relationships. And before the break, we went over step one. Let's talk about step two, exploratory communication.
Level two happens when we have decided that the conversation with the individual was enjoyable and could be further explored. In this stage of relationship, we begin to reveal a little more of who we are.
Start to open up.
Also, we can easily revert or change our opinion based on the opposition we are receiving in the conversation.
Okay, stop right there, because this is the level in communication where, when you're talking to somebody and you're just meeting them, and a lot of times we are afraid of judgment, right? Especially if we have this, like, I really think I like this person, whether it be romantic or whether it just be friendship. And even between brothers and sisters, you don't really want to offend somebody all the time. So they may ask you, what do you think about so-and-so? And because of their body language or because of the way they're looking in this level, because I really haven't revealed the truth of who I am, meaning my motives, my opinions, my experiences, I haven't revealed any of that. I can revert my opinion a little bit by saying, well, you know, that's what my mom thinks, or you know, that's what my sister thinks, or my other friend, he believed it that way. And you can kind of change your opinion a little bit in that to keep back the judgment or to keep the relationship or the conversation more to explore what the other person thinks instead of that shutting down the conversation.
And also level 2 at this level is a little more vulnerable than the first level because there can be just a small risk of rejection.
Right, because you call the person or the person calls you back or you guys are meeting back up. And that's why usually people will revert their opinions based on their comfortability and how they're feeling if they're going to be rejected. Let's face it, nobody likes to be rejected. Nobody likes to be shut down, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's just a friend relationship, whether it's between brother and sister, sister. Nobody likes the feeling of rejection. So in this level, you are revealing a little bit about yourself, but you're reserving a lot about yourself. And let me say this here now, once and forever. This is where people get in trouble with romantic relationships. I tell people all the time that if you have just meeting number 2 or meeting number 1, and you feel this great romantic sparks flying and this passion
and
gripping
and tingling all inside.
This tingling all inside. Put the brakes on. Do not go too far, because if you do, you skip steps and you end up in trouble. What else is there in level 2?
Okay, and in level 2, we are not sharing or revealing any opinions or belief experiences, things that shape who we are.
Right. So let's go over that. Your beliefs, your experiences, and your opinions shape who we are. Our experiences is what we base our beliefs and opinions on. What happened to me? And so then when we get into a deeper level of conversation and we're more vulnerable, we explain, this is why I believe this, because this happened to me. This affected me in this way. And that's a very vulnerable thing to do. That's why that's held for greater levels of communication and intimacy in communication than just level 2. Level 2, again, there is no expectations.
Right. Also, no expectation placed on either person in this step of the relationship. So still, it's a little more vulnerable than the first one. And also at the same time, you still, like you said, on reserve. So that means I'm basically holding more information to yourself because you don't want to pour it all out there.
Right. And in this level, level 2, if you're feeling like, you know what, the first conversation, it was kosher, but this conversation really ain't good. Level 2 is where you can end it and no one is really hurt because nobody is investing, right? And so let's be honest about and say too, that all of us meet people that we may have one good relationship, one good conversation with, and the second conversation be like, homeboy crazy. She ain't wrapped too tight, or something wrong with you. and so in this level, you can back out and leave the person still feeling whole, and there's no risk of hurt or real rejection given in this level. So it's a safe place for both people.
Yes. In case you might have forgotten, level 1 is just general communication. Just like what it said, general communication.
So if we go back to our scenario again, one person had one expectation, the other person had another expectation, but in the communication, there was a great gap. right?
Yeah.
So again, maybe they skipped steps and didn't build general communication. Because the other thing you can do in level 2, if you're thinking about building this relationship further, this is where you start revealing small things about yourself, right?
Right.
The other day, when we were talking, you said so-and-so, and that's really not me. That's not what I enjoy. It could be a person that like, let's say, heavy metal. I'm just picking heavy metal. Or rap. I'm just picking rap or whatever. And it can be like, oh man, I love this. I'm down with this, blah, blah, blah. And you be like, first time and second time, because they keep bringing, well, that's really not who I am. I really don't enjoy that type of music. This is what I like. And that gives you a gauge. You start revealing who you are, who I am, what I like, not what you expect, not your deep self. You start exploring to see, is this a relationship I would like to keep building on, or is it a relationship I want to shut down?
Yes, that's true, because what you just said, if they start that way and saying, okay, they likes and dislikes, like as the relationship grows, then you can lay back and see, just like you said, if this really what I want to, be in, do I really want to remain in this relationship? So it actually makes you think whether or not you want to pursue that relationship.
And so I said earlier about in this step, not to go too far sexually in this step, right? If you're in a romantic relationship, but if you're in trying to build a friendship, don't go too far in being so intimate and vulnerable about everything you are. Okay, like you just met this person and maybe you're going through a crisis. This is not the person you call.
No.
This is not the person you call. You call somebody that you've known longer than a 2-conversation thing, because what happens now, you have made yourself completely vulnerable, and now you're expecting something back. You're expecting that person to listen to you, to have empathy with you, and not judge you. But the person, because you haven't built an authentic relationship yet, it's just loose communication. They may full off reject you. They may full off hurt you deeper. They may just think you are a lunatic, and they will probably run.
Not the lunatic.
Yeah, we've all been. Come on, we've all been there. We've all been there. We've all been there. You meet somebody one day, the next day they calling you and telling you their whole life story. Or you meet somebody one day, and the next day they calling you and asking you for $100. My life's about to get off. You like, dude, I don't even know you.
Like say, I don't know you.
I don't know you like that. But if it's a friend that you have built a authentic relationship with, they call you asking for $500. And if you don't have it, and then it's your authentic friend, please hear me. Your authentic friend, then you will do whatever you need to do to make sure your authentic friend, the person that you have built trust, and they have trust in you, the person that you have love between the two of you, the person that you have shared between the two of you. This has nothing to do with sex. This is real intimacy, right? The person that you have had this meal, you will make sure that you help that person, right? And it's not going to be, why are they asking me for money? They're asking you, they're asking, I'm their last resort. They're really in need, right?
Right.
That's what level 2 is not.
Time has really gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
This has been so good. We have three more levels to go through. Yeah. We want to ask you guys to join us on our next couple of episodes as we keep going through from fairy tale to reality. Listen, you might have a story that you want to share or a topic you want to ask. Send to Let's Ask Mama. Tell the people where they can reach us.
We would love to hear from you. You can contact us at gtlm.isenough@gmail.com.
Again, we'd like to thank WYTV7.
Thank you, WYTV7.
Until next week.
Love.
Is it enough?